What's up, guys? CJ here, and welcome back to another all-new episode of the Superfriends podcast. I'm joined, as always, by Tim.
How's it going, everyone?
And this week, a returning guest from the past, Nick.
Hey, guys.
Just jumped in his time machine. And decided to show up for this episode. Yeah. We're glad to have him, though, because unfortunately Luke couldn't be with us this week. Quick reminder for everybody, the full episode is on SoundCloud, and we have a link in the description and in the comments section for you. That's just so you can listen on the go, so you don't have to, go through all the trouble of being one of the people that pays for YouTube Red. Which brings us to our first topic of the day, Justice League Dark. We actually do have some
movie that DC wants to forget about, but people keep reminding them that it was a thing.
You remember Justice League Dark? Damn it! It's already earmarked.
Now we have to announce something about it.
Speaking of that, we do have some new information on the movie. Woo!
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing that you want. This is actually the first update.
It exists slightly more than not at all.
This is the first update since we had, that rumor that was floating around that we discussed heavily. We broke it down on the show that it would be the fourth film released in the year that it is released. Tim, do I have that correct?
Yes, fourth film released in whatever year it happens to be released in.
20 never. It's going to be like the first film.
The year 20XX.
Yes. 25. But the update here is that they're actually restarting their director search, which we actually kind of knew ever since Doug Liman, who you probably knew from Tomorrow. It wasn't Tomorrow Never Dies. It was Live, Die, Repeat, and then it was Edge of Tomorrow. That's what it is. He left to do the film Chaos Walking with Tom Holland and Emilia Clarke, right? Who else? Who's the female lead in that movie? Doesn't matter. Not part of DC. Doug Liman's out at Justice League Dark. And this is news to me. I honestly had not heard that this was happening. Apparently, a lot of people were penciling in and eyeing a little guy named Andres Muschietti, who's currently directing Stephen King's It, which drops in theaters next week. A lot of people were saying he was the front runner. He's in-house, at WB right now. But really, this is kind of crazy.
He's in the office right now.
He's in the office right now. He's sitting next to me.
He just got brought into their offices and got cast as Aquaman.
Exactly. Zack Snyder pulled out a statue of him, of Pennywise as Aquaman, and said, "This is what we're doing."
Jason Momoa as Pennywise as Aquaman. You're gonna be this.
Oh my god, that was. I don't know if anybody actually watched the DC panel from SDCC, but the three people that are watching this that did got that joke. But Muschietti was considered the frontrunner for Justice League Dark, unfortunately, and this is mind-blowing, guys, so watch next week. This is crazy. Apparently, Stephen King's It is like an unmitigated masterpiece. It is apparently amazing, and it's tracking so incredibly well, as a movie in general. It's doing, Marvel numbers. In tracking wise, which people are kind of like, that's not that great, but no, seriously, it's consider the fact that it's a horror movie, and so WB is apparently kind of tasking Muschietti and saying it's like you're not doing Justice League Dark anymore. That's gonna come out whenever it comes out. We'll find someone else. You're literally just your sole purpose in life at this point is to make the sequel to It.
No, the cinematic universe.
You are It Man.
The It-verse.
Yeah, they're gonna do It Origins, the Itning, the Conjuring.
He's gonna join Justice League Dark eventually.
So eventually they're gonna find him in the tub with It written on the wall.
Yeah.
Basically, and it's a little reference there for those of you that are crossing the streams with our content. But they actually do already have somebody lined up to take Muschietti's place, and that man is Gerard Johnstone. He is apparently one of the potential directors, but a big development that just happened, I think today, is that he's writing a new treatment for the film, which is usually a sign that if they like the treatment, he's going to be the man. And apparently they did like their initial meetings with him, about the project. A lot of you might not know him. A lot of you kind of more niche horror fans might know him for a movie he released, I think last year or earlier this year, called Housebound. It was kind of a horror comedy. And I guess my first question about this is because do you guys know of him? Have you heard of Gerard Johnstone?
No,
I didn't recognize the name when I was reading the article.
So I kind of figured because honestly I haven't heard of him. This is the first time I'm hearing about the man. But horror comedy, that's kind of what I've read that Housebound is described as. Is that what you want from Justice League Dark? Kind of a dark humor, but still kind of mostly dark movie.
I'm fine with it. Horror comedies are fun. If they do it like Evil Dead 2 style, it'd be pretty solid for it.
I think that would be fantastic. That's a ringing endorsement from Tim. Nick, what do you think about that as a potential tone for this?
Yeah, like that movie
project?
the Wayans brothers did, where it was like that haunted house thing, and wait.
Oh,
What was that?
Haunted House.
Yeah, that.
scary movie.
Yeah, that one.
No, it was the one that they did after the Scary Movie franchise. I
yeah,
think it's just called Haunted House.
yeah. I want to
Oh,
see a
damn.
Justice League Dark like that, like very tongue-in-cheek. They're aware of themselves in a comic book movie, you know.
That would be fun. I mean, I think that would be definitely a little different. Maybe a little bit, I don't want to say Deadpool-esque in terms of like the breaking the fourth wall, but I think that would honestly be that's what the genre's trending towards now. To be honest, it's kind of breaking the mold of like this is just a comic book movie. I mean, we've seen stuff like Logan. It's like this is more of a Western noir, apocalyptic film. Closer to maybe The Road than an X-Men comic. But it works. It's what audiences like. We're kind of getting into the postmodernist phase of comic book stuff. So in this Marlon Wayans Justice League Dark movie, is he going to play like all the characters, like Eddie Murphy and Norbit?
Yeah, no, bring Eddie Murphy in too. He gets cast in it also.
So what I was thinking is like
Haunted
Marlon
Mansion
Wayans.
2, Justice League Dark.
No, Dark Universe, remember?
It's happening. It's happening again thanks to China. Dooku is back on, but no. So what I'm thinking is Marlon Wayans as Constantine, Marlon Wayans as his character from White Chicks as Zatanna, Marlon Wayans in mocap suit as Etrigan, Swamp Thing, and Deadman. And
I think you
and
can just
that's
do
it.
whiteface for Deadman.
He could just do whiteface. There you go. That's the character. He's in green face for Swamp Thing. But so that actually kind of interesting. I just rattled off that list of team members according to this report, and it's subject to change, of course, because Jon Stonon's still doing his treatment. But reportedly, that's going to be the lineup for the team: Constantine, Zatanna, Etrigan, Swamp Thing, and Deadman. And I guess kind of just to round out this topic, if you could add or subtract one character either from that lineup or to the lineup, what would you do? I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there a JLD character you'd like to see involved that wasn't involved, or maybe one of these guys that you would like to see just gone? Tim, I mean, do you have any?
I'm thinking.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm putting you on the spot.
Clearly,
the answer is
wasn't there
Batman.
Madame Xanadu when Guillermo del Toro was still on it too? He said,
Yeah.
I think she was going to be involved. Yeah.
Yeah, they need another female character. It's male heavy.
They've
I
got
agree.
Black Orchid they could add, I guess.
Oh, true. Actually, that would be perfect because that's like they could play it up as like their vision. She's just like the
That would be hilarious.
whatever.
I'd be down for that. I honestly kind of would want Madame Xanadu, just because she doesn't have to be like a member of the team, but just to have her there.
She'll be the Nick
kinda
Fury
nice.
of the Justice League Dark.
Basically. I mean, that's kind of her role.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You
for
know
it,
who they should
actually.
just get back to direct it? Just get Del Toro. I don't know what is he doing that weird fish movie. Just get he's
Shape of Water.
so he's done now. After that's shot already. That's done really. So
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'd be interested to see what his next project is. I have no idea. He's doing Death Stranding with Kojima. But
Yeah.
other than that, like, I don't even know
Hellboy
what he's
3.
doing in that game. Hellboy 3? No.
No.
R.I.P.
No.
that's never happening.
Somewhere like Luke is like completely without power, just sitting in the rain, and he just kind of like tensed up. He's like, "What?" Somebody mentioned Hellboy 3.
He did the anime thing where he sneezed.
Exactly.
You know the problem that I'm
Oh,
seeing
my
with this Justice League Dark is that it feels like the development has gone on way too long. Where they're pretty much every year it seems like they're just going through a couple different drafts of the script and not really pulling the trigger on anything. They just keep hiring new people to do a different take on it.
Exactly.
Right. Well, that's
Well,
been
this
the
is-
running joke with Justice League Dark since we started talking about it on this show.
Actually,
it
that's
only
the
kind of
magic bullet.
exists.
That's a problem with
Its
WB
true state
in
is
general,
being in
I
the
think,
void.
too.
Well, I think the bigger problem with WB is, and I say this completely like out of a place of love and concern. I don't say this as like I'm trying to bash them. There's just so many leaks. Like literally, it seems like every time they have a new project that they're working on, like just that's an inkling of an idea that some executive has, it's automatically like somebody gets on. It's like somebody calls THR and is like, "You are not gonna believe this." It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, you don't see it to that degree at Marvel. I mean, we hear rumors, we hear whispers sometimes, but it's not like literally. Case in point, Justice League Dark. I feel like Justice League Dark, we found out about it way too soon, and that was the issue. I was like, it's fine if you want to start working on this and developing it for somewhere like 5 years down the road, but it's like we shouldn't start hearing about it now. If you guys have a question, of course, we will very probably answer it on the show. Just drop us a line either in the YouTube comment section or on Twitter, #AskSuperfriends, so we can find it. And like I said, we'll very probably answer your question. Yes, and I'm sure a lot of you will have questions, comments, and concerns after this episode. So just in case they want to lodge those complaints, Tim, where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at AussieDragoon.
Sweet. Nick?
You can find me at who's_Nick.
Alright, and you can find me at CJ Pascal. I made it really easy for you. You can just lob those hateful tweets my way, and I'll only respond to some of them. I guess that about wraps it up for Super Friends episode 96. The countdown to 100 is on. Can't believe it, but it is. I'm sure a lot of you guys can't believe it either.
Yep.
Signing off, I guess, for Nick and Tim. This is CJ, and we'll see you next week.